if we continue to layer in that area, it's like, if you do a one and done, you don't get that repeat business, right? People start to see it. You plant the seed, it grows, and then you hit them again the following year, and then the following year. And then you never know when it's going to catch. So I would like to see us continue in that area because it is an area that has a lot of money, and a lot of those people do already vacation in parts of West Virginia.
We do a lot of it. Davis area. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Repetition is so important.
Yeah.
And that's why I said we continue to hit those markets around us too. It's like, want to keep what you have, for example, and not forget those folks as well. So I think that's an awesome opportunity to hit them again and again. I continue to use hitting as an example. That's not good.
Maybe I should reference boxer instead of wrestler. I don't know.
I think that's the problem. I got a Rocky Balboa complex.
Evidently. Are there any other questions for Destiny tonight? Thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, y'all.
As you can tell, she's from Boston with that dialect. Right? Just kidding. Okay, down to the minutes portion. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the June 11th meeting as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. Any questions or comments? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll go down to our council reports, and we'll start with Councilor Jones.
Finance Committee has not met since our last council meeting. So our next finance meeting is next Monday, which I'll have to reschedule. So get with the members to do that. Other than that, no report.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Henchman.
No report. Public safety hasn't met since the last time we were here.
All right, thank you. Councilor Pliska.
No report.
Thank you. Councilor Brosberg and Aaron.
Ditto on, municipal, rules and ordinance, excuse me, has not met either and, will be meeting sometime later this month.
Thank you. Councilor Woods.
No report.
Thank you. Councilor Burns.
No report.
Thank you. Councilor Lowry.
Municipal properties will meet on Monday, the 13th at 11 a.m. And Parks and Rec will meet, I believe it is the 15th at 5 p.m. in the other conference room. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving down to our officer reports, we will start with our city treasurer, Ms. Judy.
Good evening. You have in your packet our regular monthly reports. Just want to call attention to the general fund revenue trends. We were trending upwards in the majority of the categories that you see there. We're going to end in the black. We'll have more to say about that after our 60-day accrual period. But I don't see anything really cause for concern in that regards. And then on our Invoice Cloud, our online payment site, the first 6 months of the year, we had right around 17,500 transactions on the site. So we're glad, and we keep hoping that, especially with postal service costs going up, that people will tend to go with our online bill pay. It's very efficient. Also received from the West Virginia Municipal Bond Commission, they have increased their service fee for the first time in 8 years. I've communicated with water and sewer. That will increase monthly bonds for the sewer if $83.65, and for water bonds an additional $40.97. In regards to Whitmer, I received that letter after my report went out, and that amount is going up as well. But other than that, it's staff's working on the second quarter B&Os. We still have some 2027 business license renewals come in. They're processing that, working on bad debt accounts and normal work in the treasurer's office. And then on June the 23rd at the next council meeting, Amy Canderas with FTB Gibbons, who you all have an engagement letter at Resolution 1936. She is planning on coming here to the meeting to discuss the tax credits and answer any questions that you all have. So hopefully everybody can turn out for that meeting.
That's
And-
July 23rd.
Pardon?
That's July 23rd.
Yes, the next council meeting. That's right now, that's when she's coming. And then if you have any questions in regard to Resolution 1935, the fiscal year 27 full severance budget revision, I'll be happy to explain that as well. That's all I have.
Any questions for Tracy tonight? If none, we'll go down to our HR generalist, Ms. Campbell.
Don't have anything.
Nothing to report, yeah.
Nothing to report.
All right. Representing Elkins Police Department, Captain Bell.
Calls of service for the month of June was 497. That's not going to include any walk-up complaints that we've had. So it's going to be well over 500. We had an issue with the computers, with the cameras. Lieutenant Tice was working on with licensing. It was messed up. They still weren't working whenever I checked before we came over here.
Which cameras?
The
The streets?
streets
Okay. I know he told me that he was working on this, yes.
Yeah. Still wasn't logging in today, right before we came over. That's all.
All right. Any questions for Ronnie? If not, our Chief Water Operator, Wes Lambert.
All right, I have a brief report for a few things that's been going on over the past couple of weeks. Many of you may have already noticed the fire hydrant has been installed over in front of City Hall. We're currently working with the local contractor to get a quote and possibly get that work scheduled to replace that sidewalk within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, we've also been gathering information for the state's PSC annual report. We're doing that in tandem with the treasurer's office. Hope to have that to the treasurer's office within the next week. She can complete her end of it and get it into the state. We've been receiving some inquiries on private fire service connections. These are basically fire service lines going into supply sprinkler systems and different things. And so basically it's new businesses that's requesting this. So one question I get right off the bat is who covers the cost of that? A private fire service line is 100% responsibility of the customer. Now, we will provide quotes. We can even do some of the work in-house, but regardless, they have to cover that cost. So I think it's good to get that out there. We're also in the process of updating our backflow prevention and fire service connection records for all the commercial customers. We got some records from Tracy's office, so we're getting ready to start going out and actually doing inspections to all the different businesses. That'll probably take a few months because there's several businesses that we got to check. But that's, it's been a while since we've actually did in-site visits like that and actually checked it. So, as I mentioned during the last council meeting, we're continuing to clear the brush along the levee. We've been mainly working on the riverside portion on Haddocks Road. Jerry Roberts and I have obtained permission verbally so far to enter the other side on the Oddfellows, the old Oddfellows property. And once we get something in writing there, we're going to go over there and start on that side. We're hoping to have the Haddock side of the flood control done sometime at the end of August. Maybe that's optimistic, but that's what we're shooting for. So,
A lot of clearing.
yeah, for sure. That's all I have for now.
Any questions for Wes? If not, we'll go to our fire chief, Steve Himes.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. Calls for service in June was 66, a little busier than the average. Year to date, we're at 340. In other news, still no news or silence, I should say, on the AFG grant amendment that we were a part of for the radios. The volunteers grant with TC Energy was partially funded. We requested $20,000 for confined space rescue equipment. Some of that stuff it's honestly about 50-50. About half of it was stuff we didn't have, and the other half is just enhancing the capabilities of stuff that we did have, but would have liked to have gotten more, but they were pretty selective on what they
what they picked out, because I had to give them an itemized list of cost analysis of what we wanted. So the things that did get approved, we can definitely use. So we won't look the gift horse in the mouth. And we also had a project selected by the Mills Group for their pro bono work that they do every year around West Virginia Day. So we'll see how that goes. Free is free.
Congratulations on that.
Free is free. So at least we can, it'll help with some long-term planning. Whether or not it ever materializes is yet to be seen. So other than that, that's about all I've got.
Any questions for Steve tonight? If not, our operations manager, Mike Kisker.
Good evening. The last meeting we had, I reported that the roof replacement for the Phil Gaynor Center was going to start on the 3rd week of July. That's next week, and it's going to start next week. That's the last thing I've been told, so that's good news. We're looking forward to getting that project underway and complete. It's been a long time coming. Really going to make this building a lot better, and we won't have events calling us saying we have leaks and things of that nature. So we're looking forward to getting that finished. Also, at the last meeting, I spoke about the possibility of more funding for dilapidated property projects. We've been notified that the application process for this will begin in August of this year. And I also urge everyone, as I did at the last meeting, if you know of a property you would like to see put on the list, please email myself and Jesse, the code enforcement officer, so we can get this list compiled and figure out how we want to proceed with it. But we will be starting the application process next month. Really excited about that. And I think, it speaks volumes how well we've handled these last segments that we've done this. So I feel confident we'll be able to get some more funding for this moving forward. Sanitation department, normal operations for them, but I would really like to just give a shout out to them. I think over the 4th holiday, those guys did a tremendous job keeping everything cleaned up. They even had some guys that came in on non-working hours to make sure the trash cans were empty in the heavy foot traffic areas and where events were going on. So their dedication and pride in the job they do is well noted, and I appreciate it. Street department is continuing to blacktop, doing some blacktop patchwork throughout the city. We're still cleaning some storm water catch basins. We're repairing to replace a culvert pipe on Bell Street. Be installing a new catch basin and pipe on Boundary Avenue for better stormwater control in that area here in the very near future. The paving list has been provided to West Virginia Paving. We did find out that it is increased $5 per ton this year for what we're doing. We currently have 5 streets on the list to do paving this year, and we are also going to do the intersection at 3rd and Henry as part of that project as well. Right now, we're looking like we'll be on budget with all the milling, the grinding, and the paving. It's going to run right around $175,000, which is roughly where we budgeted. So we're very confident with that. There aren't as many streets being paved this year, but we did have to take some money out of the budget to do some building maintenance on the street garage building. It's in desperate need of a roof, we want to get all of our buildings back up to par where they need to be. So we had to take some money to do that. Street guys continue to do a great job. Have no issues there. Quick City Hall update. I do know that it's on the municipal property committee meeting on Monday for a more thorough update. I won't have that electronically to you, but I will have a typed copy for everyone in the committee on Monday at 11 a.m. The reason for that is I'm meeting with the contractors again Monday morning to get a last minute update prior to that meeting. But real quick, what I will tell you is, many of you have heard me, I'm very excited. The concrete steps at the back of the building were poured today, and they look amazing. The monumental staircase coming out of the building looks gorgeous. They did a tremendous job. They started on the ADA compliant ramp, and they are due to come back tomorrow and finish that area as well. They were there bright and early this morning pouring concrete, and it looks amazing. Bates Flooring was on site yesterday. and did a walkthrough with myself and the contractors, and they are preparing to install the carpet on all the second and third floor areas in office spaces. So here within a few weeks, all the offices on the second and third floor will have carpet. Otis Elevator is on site, and they're working on the elevator. It's like just, it's a rat race when you walk in the building. People scattered everywhere doing all kinds of things, but Otis Elevator is on site. They're working on the elevator. I kind of stay out of their way on that because that's a very delicate job, and we're trusting them to do what we hired them to do. Stairwell behind council chambers is completely demolished, and the new stairwell is being built as we speak. That will take you up to the jury chambers. The back stairwell that leads up to my office is closed from the second floor up for wall and stairwell repairs and for ceiling repairs. So we're excited about that. That's getting done as well. And I sent an email out with the plaque. I hate to call it a plaque because it's not. It's an engraving in the actual marble of the building on the inside. Everyone kind of shot some ideas back to us. We're moving forward on that. And I just think it's important that we do that and do it in a way that honors and acknowledges everyone that's had a key part in this project getting done. So we're moving forward on that. Countdown's on, a few more council meetings, and we'll be having them in council chambers, and I'm excited. The contractors are confident that we're gonna meet the deadline. They did tell me, yes, probably be in here a little bit while you're in here, but I guess that's normal for construction work. But we will be in the building. I'm gonna be getting with all the departments here soon, that if you haven't ordered office furniture and you want to, have it delivered to City Hall. We will store it in the basement. And as we begin to get the carpet laid, we will start hauling all the furniture up and get offices set up. So we're excited about that. It's going to be a heavy lift because while we're setting up the offices, we will not have the elevator in use. So no pun intended, it will be a heavy lift. So, but we have enough hands, we can do it. Teamwork is making this all come together. I'm excited about it. Again, resolution 1936. Tracy and I can answer some questions regarding that. Jerry, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I am looking forward to Amy coming to the next council meeting and explaining in detail to everyone what's going on with the historic tax credits, the complexity of it, but why it's worth pursuing and why it's going to be a successful thing for us to do. So looking forward to that. And other than that, Lee, that's all I have to report this evening. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Mike tonight?
I just wanted to express my thanks and also the tree board's thanks for working on that Seneca Mall parking island. That was like the fastest thing I've ever worked on, and I appreciate Tracy, intervening and making sure all the ducks were in a row, and
sure,
the tree pruner came in, cleaned that up, and your guys, my gosh, it looks so much nicer. And we will be presenting some ideas at the next municipal.
Yeah, I do believe that did make the agenda. So, yep, we'll be able to, yep, absolutely. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad we got to take care of that and work together on that as well.
It was perfect.
I will say the timing was great for that because it was right before the 4th and with Augusta coming in as well. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
We're really fortunate that the
really good time.
Especially with Augusta Stage being across from there. So yeah.
Yeah.
True. Any other questions or comments for Mike? If not, filling in for our city clerk is Ms. Goins. Do you have anything to report?
Sutton sent me his report before he left that was attached in the minutes. After I'm back in the office tomorrow and have better Wi-Fi, I will convert her presentation to a PDF and send it out in email to all of you.
Anything else? Thank you. And welcome back, Ms. Roberts, our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. It's very good to be here in person. I don't have any particular report, but when we get to the resolution with regard to the firm being retained, do the financing and the historic tax credits, I'll be happy to talk about that engagement letter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the vendor invoice payments. I will entertain a motion to accept the invoices as submitted.
So moved.
We have a motion. Are there any questions or comments? If none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. New business. Resolution 1935, fiscal year 2027 coal severance budget revision, SAO 2027-002-01. I will entertain a motion to accept, please.
So moved.
We have a motion. Are there any questions or comments?
Tracy, can you explain it a little bit?
Okay, first of all, we're required by the state auditor's office to have this budget revision to confirm the fund balance after the end of the year. By July the 15th, we had budgeted back in March for $72,000, but because of some expenditures that we've paid out of the coal severance budget, it is now revised balance of $38,746. And this will be a roll call vote as well.
Any other questions or comments? If none, I'll ask Michaela to take the roll, please.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
Counselor Chenoweth,
Yes.
Counselor Wilder,
Yes.
Counselor Kearns,
Yes.
Counselor Henchman,
Yes.
Counselor Pliszka,
Yes.
and Counselor Ross-Briganera.
Yes.
7 yeses, it passes. Thank you. Motion carries. Resolution 1936, acceptance and approval of FTV Gibbons engagement letter. I will entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
We have a motion. Are there any questions or comments, or would someone like to explain?
An explanation.
I'd be happy to. So to remind everybody, we have been fortunate enough, the city has, to get financing with Mountain Valley Bank. They made an offer of the financing the entire project at the exact same rate that USDA was going to, which is monumental in my mind. And to have a local financial institution making that kind of investment in your building is very important. So there's that part of the whole project, which is the typical kind of situation, for instance, when the sanitation garage got built. You know, there are bond documents and there's the building commission involved. All the very typical things when you do improvement. Well, when the improvements were first made on this building for the new roof and the upgrade in the electrical, same kind of thing. And so their firm, Ross Brown Todd Gibbons, I think is the full name, they are going to handle all of the documentation with regard to the financing with Mountain Valley Bank. The deed of trust, the lease agreement, all of the buyback things, and all the things that allow the bank then to buy the bond and the building commission to issue it. So that's one of the things they're doing. The second thing they're doing, and I want to emphasize this, these things are not contingent on each other. The whole idea of the refi on the building for the renovation is separate and apart from the fact that because of the age of the building and the availability of state historic tax credits, you're going to have a second part of work that's being done by Amy's firm. And what they will be doing is putting together a very nuanced way of allowing a city, or a building commission, which are exempt from taxation, a mechanism to allow them to be able to have these historic tax credits. And they're sold. They get brokered and they have a value. That value will come back to the city, and without it, this loan can all be paid back. I'm sure Tracy can tell you that, and others too. But getting the historic tax credits are not contingent in getting this loan paid back. This is sort of, I look at it as like icing on the cake. This is an additional revenue source for the city, and you would be remiss from not taking advantage of it. Amy's firm has done this kind of work before. As you can well imagine, bond work itself is very niche kind of law work. There are only a few firms in the state that do that kind of work. The city's had experience with several of them. And so that in and of itself is a group of law firms, small group that do that kind of work. Not just every law firm does that. But the typical kind of thing beyond that, what we're looking at here, the state historic tax credits, which does, it's a complicated process of what has to be created. But two things I want to emphasize about it. Number one, whatever tax credit we're able to obtain from that is all going back to the city of Elkins. It will all be in your general revenues. It will be money that you would never have seen otherwise if you don't go through this process. So number one, it's a huge benefit to the city. And number two, despite the different entities that will be created in order for this to work, in order to be eligible for historic tax credits, there's some unusual ways to do it. However, at all times, the city will have the last word and the control of how this works. So despite the fact that, if you just think about this, so in order for the city to do long-term financing, the city has to transfer the property to the building commission. The city can only commit funds for one fiscal year. So if you've got a 20-year loan, which is perfect example, just got paid off, the street garage on Baxter Street,
Absolutely.
perfect example. I think last year, sometime, Tracy, you finished the payments on that, correct? The only way that was able to be done was that the building commission is the one that actually is holding title to the property. At the end of the 20 years, the property reverts back to the city. It's always the city's property. Same thing with the sanitation garage, another perfect example. Right now, this building that we're sitting in is of record owned by the building commission. It's the only way you can do long-term financing, whether it's to build, whether it's to renovate, whatever. So just so you know, when, and Amy will be at your next meeting and will give you her explanation of what's going to happen. I think those two things are really important to keep in mind. Number one, this is a benefit the city would not have of any other way unless you took advantage of these historic tax credits. And it could be a substantial benefit. You're not going to know exactly the amount until it's brokered and who buys it, you know, that sort of thing. But secondly, always, city will have control over the building and anything that's going on with regard to it. You will have the last say of it. If you notice, this is an agreement between the city that if you so desire to pass this resolution that permits the mayor to sign off on behalf of the city to allow the city to engage this law firm and Amy in particular at the rate she specifies to do the work, which includes both the financing with Mountain Valley Bank and then the work that's separate and apart with historic tax credits. And we've got a lot of moving parts with that, and I think it's a great idea, and this is not their first rodeo with it. So I want everyone to have a comfort level with them. I've known Amy for many years in a sort of a different way. She does bond work for medical facilities, and I have been on a hospital finance authority board for many, many years, and she's come there and made presentations. Her firm is well-versed in this kind of work, so although she may be new to people in this room, I can assure you she is well thought of in the market for what she particularly does and what her firm does. So you have any questions about the actual engagement letter? It's very typical of a lawyer engagement letter. Tells you how much they're going to charge an hour, how you're going to, you know, how they're going to bill you, what the scope of the work is, you know.
Jerry, if I can add on to what you're saying, Tracy and Jerry and I have put in countless hours dealing with Amy and her firm and another Amy from the firm.
Amy Curry, yeah, they're both Amy C's. It's very
we've been dealing with a lot of
confusing.
Amy's.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, one thing that I think it's critical to remember is, though it is very complex, extremely complex, and without the help of an attorney, I would not want to go down that road and try to do this. However, with their expertise and their knowledge, you know, it's economy driven, obviously, so it's going to depend on the market, but we could be looking at over $500,000 just simply by putting the effort in. And I think we owe it to everyone. And Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, and Tracy, please as well, but I think in some of the meetings we've had, it's been explained to us, whatever money we receive in tax credits is ours to do with as we please. It doesn't have to go toward the loan for the city hall renovation. If we want to use it to purchase equipment, if we want to use it to pay off some other debt we may have, that is our money and we can do that. And I think Amy will elaborate on that as well when she's here on the 23rd. And the other thing I would like to say that, just to piggyback off of what Jerry said about Mountain Valley Bank, I was talking to a gentleman over the 4th who's got well over 30 to 35 years in finance. That's been his career. And he was talking to me about the funding for a city hall, and he said, have you pulled your hair out yet dealing with USDA? And I said, well, I got something to tell you. I said, I forgot to tell you that Mountain Valley Bank stepped up and they're going to give us a loan. He said, how are you going to swing it? Because they'll never match what USDA did. I said, they matched the interest rate and they matched the term. He said it might be the first time in his 35 years he's ever heard of a bank doing that. And he said the city of Elkins should be proud that they have that type of partnership with a local bank. He said, I can tell you this. He said, we would loan you the money, but not for that term and not for that length of time. So, I think it says something for the relationship that this body has created with a local lending institution. And it says something in their confidence in what we're doing at City Hall to invest in it. So I'm looking forward to the 23rd meeting, and I hope she can explain it to you all as well as she has to me, and I hope you understand it better than I do. I'll just put it to you that way.
And I'd like to just add one thing if I could. I want council members to feel confident. There has been no time have I ever calculated that we have to use that money.
Absolutely.
Payment. I have not. The payment got budgeted in for what our general revenues are. The state historic tax credits, just as Jerry and Micah said, is extras coming in. So that has never been part of, we better get that or we can't pay for the loan. That has never been part of it. So I want you all to feel comfortable about that.
Let me ask a question on this, I guess. You say we can use it for whatever we want to. So if we do end up getting $500,000 in tax credits, do we then come back before council and say, we need to decide how we're using this money? Is that how we do this?
It's my understanding that's how you would do it.
Yeah, I think that'd be a
Absolutely.
wise move, that point,
Right.
once it unlike revenues that come from, for instance, utility payments that have to go certain places. This is going to be, depending on whatever that magic number ends up being, this is money that will come into the general revenues. And as you know, general revenues can be spent
Absolutely.
for whatever is needed, whatever council believes is the highest priority. You could even use it to prepay some of the loan if you want. You can use it for lots of different
That's the
things.
really interesting and odd thing, Mayor, about this whole process. The money comes back to you without some sort of restriction on it. It's the cities to do with in the general fund as they please, and why it's so
The
different.
reason I'm asking the question is I want the transparency of the public to know that this is being discussed in a public meeting so they understand why we're going the way we're going with it. That's all.
Absolutely.
So that way we're as transparent as possible. We did receive these and this is how we're,
Right. And I do think if we didn't attempt to go after these tax credits, I think we're doing a disservice to the citizens.
No, I'm not questioning this at all. I'm just saying, going forward, I hope we go that route so that the public understands we're going to debate this and they can hear what's being
Yeah,
discussed.
absolutely.
Agree. Yes.
I think there'd be some negligence in not making this. When it's available. Now, no one can sit here today and tell us exactly what the dollar amount is going to be. It's going to be something. And the important thing is, as Tracy pointed out, whether it works out to be 100,000, 500, whatever the number is, that's not money you're counting on to pay back this, the financing with Mountain Valley Bank. That's going to happen regardless. So this will be funds that the city can use for goodness knows. There are a million things out there that I'm sure, and there are things we don't even think about right as we're sitting here today that will come up in the meantime. So that's the really positive thing about it. And to mention what Mike said about the bank. I hope the people out there that are watching this live stream or that look at this at some other date and time when it's more convenient, realize that a well-established bank in your community that has an excellent reputation has made a decision to invest this kind of money in your city government by agreeing to make a loan at a rate that normally you only get with federal funding through the USDA. That's a big deal.
And approached us.
And approached us.
We did not lobby them, and that's the
No.
amazing thing. They came to us and said, we would like to help.
So what does
And-
that say?
And
to
Tracy
you?
and I were
Yeah.
like, huh, wonder how this is gonna go. And it just floored us when it,
Oh, when they came
it's
back
something you
with,
never hear of.
yeah, when they came back with same terms, interest rate, length of loan, all that, I don't think anyone anticipated that. I
know, I
really
didn't.
don't. So that says to me, knowing how banks look at things and how that works, this is a huge win for the city they have confidence in what you're doing and in this project, and believe that this city government and that city hall is going to be there for as long as they intend to be there as a bank.
Absolutely.
So that's a really promising thing and something to feel good about. You know, sometimes it's hard to find those things in your everyday life, but that's one thing. As members of this council, administrative officers, and everyone that's made this happen, feel very proud of the community bank being willing to step up and do this on their own. So kudos to them, and I think you're very fortunate that it worked out this way.
We do have a motion on the floor. Are there any other questions or comments? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. C, discussion to reschedule or cancel the August council meeting. Obviously, I don't want to cancel it. I would like to reschedule. That is actually the day of the municipal league conference that I get sworn in as president, and I will not be back in time. Since the comprehensive plan is on the agenda, I would like to be here since we're talking about a comprehensive plan for my city. So I'd like to push it out a week to the 13th if there are no objections. So.
And I think we can, Mayor, if you don't mind me
Yes.
interjecting. When the mayor and I discussed this the other day, I reached out to Christy Demuth, and those that know who she is the representative from the land use law clinic that has helped the city with its zoning and has now helped with the comp plan. I calculated what I think will make it work without any problem with it being brought up on the September 3rd meeting. And I ran it by her. I have not heard back from her, but I believe unless there's something I'm totally missing, we can do this. We'll have enough time. So you're not canceling it, so stay tuned. And we'll see what eventually comes. But I feel comfortable we can get the 15 days in. And
So
not screw too many things
My
up.
request is that we actually move that council meeting to August 13th if we could, and I would like to entertain a motion for that, please.
So moved.
I'm sorry, are we just voting on that one meeting,
Right.
Yes, for now.
not all the other
Yeah,
ones?
for now,
No.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, for now, yes.
Thank you.
Just that one. Yes, please. We'll do the rest of them after that.
That sounds fine.
Because we want to make sure we have the schedule lined up to cover this as well, so
Yeah.
that we have enough days in there, that's why.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion. Are there any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, D, personnel, and this is a police discussion that we are going to have.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
We have a motion to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. 8:10, we will be
You're live.
We're live, okay. We are returning from executive session at 8:41 with no action taken. Back to the personnel and the police issue. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to post a job description approved by HR for the new chief of police hire.
Okay, we have a motion. Are there any questions or comments? I will say normally this kind of policy goes through a committee's first, personnel and finance. However, due to the urgency of it, we decided to bypass that and bring it to full council, and everybody agreed that that was the right thing to do. So any other questions or comments? If none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, down to mayor's comments. Kathy, I'm glad you're here tonight. I want to thank volunteers like Kathy Vance, Citizens Promoting Community, and everybody else that was on board there. The volunteers were tremendous this year for the 4th of July. The businesses downtown looked amazing. Erica, thank you for what you did for those windows. They looked awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do me a favor. Let's raise the bar next year. I hope we make it bigger and better next year. We don't have to do it just because it's America 250. Let's keep doing it every year. Let's be that patriotic community every year and honor those that have given us the freedoms that we have to do what we do. So I loved it. It was an amazing weekend. The weather didn't deter that many people. The parade was still fantastic. The car show was awesome. The fireworks, the concert, I mean, great day. We had a veterans ceremony starting at 11 o'clock that morning. Good time for everyone. Like I said, car show back in the park, I think was much needed.
I think they said 257 cars.
Yes.
Registration.
I heard 257, not counting the members.
Not counting the members.
Not
So
counting
you're
the
probably
members. So
25 or 30.
that's a tremendous turnout. So.
And no trees were harmed in that, in the process.
I'm gonna be honest, Nancy, I was concerned about a tree harming a car when that storm came. That was the other way around, so.
Well,
But they got out in time.
yeah, I
They got
heard
out
that
on
they
time,
got
so.
out. That was fabulous.
Yes, and Nancy mentioned this earlier, Augusta is in town. I got to give a welcome to them at 5 o'clock on Monday evening. Dude, the energy this group brings to our community is tremendous.
Crazy.
So I am happy to have them back downtown. If you get a chance, thank them for being here. You're gonna see them walking around just kind of looking. You'll know they're from out of town. Be an ambassador for the city. Ask them what they like. I told them, I said, give me feedback. Tell me what you like about our city or what we can do better. I use that as a chance for marketing research. So glad to have them back there. It's been tremendous. The music's been amazing tonight. Kathy, I know they're probably keeping you awake too, though, but that's all right. Leon, thank you for your efforts this week and everything that was going on. And Michaela, thank you for keeping me organized. It's been a challenge. So, I have nothing else. So with that, meeting adjourned.